Have you ever wondered why the person you love most can't say, I love you in the way you envisioned? They're not sulking, not coldly rejecting you. In fact, they compliment you warmly, yet you still don't hear those three crucial words. It's not just silence, it's how they protect a heart that's been hurt before. In today's video, we'll uncover subtle signs that avoidant partners, those uniquely hard-to-reach attachment styles, use to say, I love you in their own way. Don't dismiss their feelings just because they won't utter, I love you. Even without the words, they're sending crystal clear messages. They admit they're difficult, but cherish you for understanding them. They make promises you can rely on. They let you hold their heart's trust, and so much more. You'll learn 1. How to listen when they acknowledge, I know I'm hard to love, but I value you, a hidden declaration of love. 2. How to spot their genuine commitment when they say, you have my word, a rare pledge from someone avoidant. 3. How to appreciate when they let you be the one to criticize them and still choose to stay. 4. And many other signals born from childhood fears and now revealed when they finally feel safe. Don't miss a moment. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss when they reveal their love in avoidant style. Stay until the very end, and you'll gain the key to decoding this unique love language, turning every mixed signal into a heartfelt promise. This isn't just theory, it's how you rebuild trust in your relationship from the avoidant partner to yourself. From early childhood, many avoidantly attached individuals never received those simple yet powerful words, I love you or I love you, mom and dad. For dismissive avoidance, the household often operated on implicit bonds, emphasizing independence and resilience over emotional expression. In that home, praise, hugs, or the phrase, I love you, were nearly non-existent, replaced instead by corrective feedback or comparisons meant to gauge potential rather than affirm worth. As they grew, they internalized the unspoken rule that love didn't need to be voiced. It merely required not being abandoned or not causing problems, criteria that sustained them but failed to fulfill their longing for genuine affection. Meanwhile, fearful avoidants faced an even harsher landscape. Not only did they hear love rarely, but they endured criticism or chilling silence whenever they showed emotional need. In a child's mind, connection, a source of sanctuary, became a maze of risks, where any emotional advance could lead to unpredictable withdrawal. This childhood pattern imprinted on their nervous systems. Whenever an avoidant moves closer, an alarm bells rings in their psyche. Getting too close means you will be judged, or worse, left behind. The absence of the words, I love you, thus signifies more than a linguistic void. It represents an invisible gap etched deep into their survival wiring, prompting them to hide their feelings to avoid new wounds. Consequently, when they finally feel safe enough to express love, you won't hear a direct, I love you, but you will perceive it through their admissions of difficulty, their follow-through on promises, or their willingness to let you into the sacred realms of their inner world. Recognizing this root cause allows you not only to empathize with the loneliness concealed behind their stoic exterior, but also to rebuild an emotional bridge by patiently giving them space to learn to say, I love you in their own way, a small signal that carries a far more powerful message than any grand declaration. Once you grasp the childhood void left by the absence of I love you in an avoidance upbringing, the next step is to listen for their first substitute declaration of love. I know I am difficult, and I appreciate you for understanding me. This phrase may sound simple, but it carries more weight than any romantic confession. It originates from deep within. The avoidant, accustomed to self-reliance and shielding their heart, seldom pauses to reflect on themselves and even more rarely admits to their own flaws. Therefore, when they utter, I know I'm difficult, it means they've just drilled a small hole through their internal fortress. They're looking into a mirror and acknowledging, I have behaviors and thought patterns that make things challenging for you. This admission isn't a melodramatic apology, but an explicit recognition meant for you to see their self-awareness. Then they add, and I appreciate you for understanding me, a profound thank you that reveals their gratitude. They see that you stayed when they went silent, refrained from judging when they withdrew, and refused to let go when they pushed you away. They recognize that you chose patience over abandonment, resilience over resignation, and while they may struggle to articulate, I love you, they can convey deep gratitude through acknowledging their own difficulty. In that moment, you feel relief. No more squinting at mixed signals, no more doubting your own worth. You feel seen and validated. They are opening a new horizon, one that includes not just you and me, but also the desire to change in order to deserve that affection. Over the following days, you'll notice the actions that accompany this metaphorical statement. They sit with you more attentively, adjust their tone, solicit your input before acting. Every positive response you give reinforces their belief that change is possible. And that very transformation becomes proof of a genuine "I love you." From acknowledging their difficulty, to expressing gratitude for your understanding, to taking concrete steps to improve themselves, this sequence of shifts is powered by your presence as the catalyst. And once you have experienced this newfound sense of safety, you become ready to welcome the next loving expression they offer, ensuring that every subtle signal is noticed. This progression naturally leads you into the next phase of your journey, decoding the distinct love language of an avoidant partner. Once, "I know I'm difficult and I appreciate you for understanding me," unlock the admission of vulnerability. "You have my word," throws open the door to commitment, an almost alien concept for an avoidant. They inherently shy away from heavy emotional language and avoid setting grand expectations only to fear disappointment. Thus, when they say, "You have my word," you are hearing straight from someone willing to lower their defensive guard and let their words chart a course for action. Imagine the two of you, having weathered those complete silent stretches and hot-cold swings, times when you never dared plan more than a few hours ahead. Then today, they look you in the eye and say, "You have my word, we'll have dinner on Saturday at 7 exactly as promised." This is far from trivial. For them, making a promise and keeping it is groundbreaking. The phrase, "You have my word," resonates with weight. It signals, "I have considered this, and I choose you over my flight reflex," the silent heartbeat of someone learning loyalty step by step. And they honor their word. They arrive on time, no postponements, no evasions. Their eyes flicker with both anxiety and pride for having stretched their comfort zone. Each fulfilled promise evokes two emotions in you: trust planted in the right place and relief that their words are not empty. You no longer worry, "Will they forget?" because you've seen them remember, prepare, and show up. This action alone silences any leftover doubts. No explanations needed. Their consistency outshines 1,000 hollow assurances. More importantly, each "You have my word" marks an internal shift in them. From someone who doubts commitment to someone who cherishes it, ready to hand you a piece of their previously locked inner world. When they habitually use "You have my word" for small things, a movie night, a promise to fix a specific issue, a plan with your family, each small promise becomes a brick in a foundation of trust. And every time you savor the simple joy of a promise honored, you forge another link in a lasting emotional chain so that any future commitment carries built-in sincerity. From here on, as life throws its tests a missed call, a cool tone, you hold one reliable benchmark. If they say, "You have my word," it will happen. That trustworthy expectation anchors you through storms and teaches them the value of entrusting their word, transforming promises from fleeting comfort into a lasting catalyst for change. That is why "You have my word" is not just a metaphorical phrase. It is a yardstick of love, proof of steadfast hearts echoing amid countless fears. When the initial phase of relief mingled with satisfaction begins to fade, after just a few days, the avoidant person suddenly realizes that the space you left behind isn't merely quiet, it's the complete absence of any sign of care. Silence ceases to feel like a gift and instead becomes a cold stone wall of separation, leaving them restless and terrified. At first, the sense of "I'm winning" gradually ebbs away, making room for a hollow loneliness. Previously, when they knew you were watching, pushing boundaries, they could remain confident that they could pull the door of the relationship closed whenever they wanted. But now, with no message, no call, no fleeting glance at your story, they recognize they are truly alone. This distance is no longer temporary, but like a mountain barrier with no path back. Their minds, accustomed to being regulated and soothed by your timely presence, lose their anchor. Every thought, from happy memories to the worry, "Did I do something wrong?" races back in unison. They wonder, is this silence not respect, but the final rejection? Each silent ring of the phone becomes a painful reminder that you are gone. Anxiety seeps into every heartbeat. Waking in the morning, they find no new day greeting. By afternoon, there is no habit of checking the phone for your news. At night, the silence swarms their thoughts, leaving unanswered questions and an uncomfortable void. They were unprepared for this feeling, a loneliness not from lacking company, but because the one person they needed has disappeared. The heaviness of silence turns into restlessness. Sometimes they check their phone, then turn it off, determined not to let themselves hope in vain. But in a moment, their heart still races. Am I not important enough for a single text? Then they recall how you steadfastly maintained silence, pondering whether it was self-protection or a genuine letting go. Without your return, they realize you're not merely waiting to come back, but inviting them on a new journey, one of facing themselves and their fear of abandonment. The mental pressure surges. The freedom they once felt was only temporary because you were always there to catch them when they grew weary. Now that freedom equates to profound solitude. It is during this stage that true danger emerges. They might retreat back into their old safe shell, or they will be forced to confront suppressed feelings. And that is no easy choice. They exist in confusion, torn between returning to familiar hurt or moving forward toward change. Transition to stage 3. When this anxiety peaks, they have no choice but to examine their inner world. From here, stage 3, the mental replay begins, where they replay every past conversation, scrutinize every message, and question your value in their life. Having seen them acknowledge their difficulty and honor their promises, the third metaphorical declaration reveals itself in the simple phrase, "You're the only person I let talk to me like that." Previously, any critique or frank feedback from others triggered an immediate disconnect for them. Criticism meant risk to their hard-won independence, so they cut ties. No replies, deleted contacts, or indefinite silence. They assumed any negative word was a threat to their emotional armor, so flight was the sole response. But when an avoidant allows you to point out their flaws or share what upsets you without shutting down, it is not a sign of indifference, but rather proof that they view you as indispensable, worthy of enduring shame or discomfort. Imagine the moment. You gently voice a mistake they've hidden, and instead of defensively lashing out or turning away, they nod, listen, and quietly say, "Yes, I know. Thank you for being honest with me." That brief affirmation lands like a weighty testament, letting you feel uniquely trusted, not like an outsider. In granting you permission to critique them, they extend an invitation into their most guarded inner world. When I let you speak hard truths, I'm entrusting you with my vulnerability. This silent act of intimacy is more powerful than any romantic mantra because it signifies not just being loved, but being believed in. You sense you are truly valued. While criticism from others is noise to be blocked, your words become the baseline that holds each interaction together. From that point forward, whenever you share tough feedback, they no longer recoil, they engage, respond thoughtfully, and collaborate on solutions. This pattern nurtures budding trust. You don't have to pry or cajole, only speak honestly, and they remain. This transformation is not instantaneous. It emerges as they consistently keep their word and recognize that you deserve such emotional risk. When a casual acquaintance's criticism would prompt an avoidant to withdraw entirely, your honest observations provoke reflection, correction, and dialogue. When they say, "You're the only person I let talk to me like that," they elevate you from partner to confidant, the sole individual whose words they value above self-protection. With this privileged status, every message from you is weighed and honored, not dismissed or countered. Over time, you'll notice matching actions. They don't retreat when you're upfront. They ask clarifying questions. They journal or reflect to identify needed growth. This cultivates a rhythm of cooperation utterly at odds with their former avoidance reflex. The sense of intimacy and esteem extends beyond words to gestures. A reassuring touch, a follow-up message the next day to ensure you're okay, a spontaneous check-in after a difficult conversation. As these experiences accumulate, the avoidant begins to reshape themselves. The walls that once sealed them off gradually give way, and love expresses itself through accountable openness rather than guarded distance. You become not just their lover, but their soul's chosen ally, the key holder to their most hidden chambers. This third metaphor distills a fundamental truth. Love is not mere sweet talk, but the permission to stand close, speak candidly, and still be held with care, a gift far more precious than any direct "I love you." After savoring the trust granted by "You're the only person I let talk to me like that," our journey into an avoidance love language continues with the fourth sign. I will do it for you. This is more than words. It's an action that shows they're willing to step outside their comfort zone, sacrificing personal preferences and routines solely to make you happy. For someone with an avoidant attachment, especially the dismissive type, personal interests usually take precedence. They'd rather spend time alone than engage socially. Yet when they say, I will do it for you, you realize you have become their priority. They may not be a fan of comedies, but they'll buy tickets for your favorite genre. They may typically avoid gatherings, yet they attend your friend's party. They willingly wake up early with you for a walk or to try yoga, even if it once felt like torture. Such gestures fill you with warmth and deep appreciation because you know every minute they give carries more weight than any empty promise. The love you feel through their actions assures you, I'm not just an emotional option. I'm a chosen priority in their daily life. From there, every time they take the initiative, whether brewing your tea at the right moment or reminding you of an important meeting, you see living proof of, I will do it for you. They don't ask for recognition or repeat reminders. They quietly follow through. And the magic is how these humble acts powerfully affirm that they are willing to change for you. When you notice them needing time to learn a new routine or awkwardly fumbling but pressing on, you understand this is not mere accommodation, it's the trace of a heart learning to open. The shift from merely tolerating criticism to actively serving you marks a profound leap in their commitment. From I'll try not to inconvenience you to I want to delight you. And that transformation builds in you confidence. If they've already altered their habits for you, the next words they speak must carry genuine intention. This is when you know you can offer heartfelt gratitude because love must be heard and seen. It must be witnessed in deeds done for you, even when no one is watching. In the end, as old habits give way to actions they never thought possible, you realize your relationship has matured. Your partner doesn't just express feelings, they turn words into meaningful gifts. And those gifts, be it a simple dinner or a supportive message on a quiet afternoon, are enough to still your heart with joy. After they have gradually shown you commitment through promises and actions of I will do it for you, the fifth signal reveals the power of humility. I'm sorry. For an avoidantly attached person, uttering these two words is like stepping gingerly onto a frozen pond, daunting, trembling, filled with barriers. They typically shy away from admitting mistakes every apology risks, exposing a vulnerable area that could prompt an immediate retreat to protect their self-esteem. Yet when they stand before you and say, I'm sorry, or please forgive me, it is not a casual, formulaic utterance. It is the shattering of their emotional armor. A single, sincere apology can dissolve the weight of tension in an instant, allowing you to feel the genuine warmth emanating from their very core. As a poet once said, sorry is the language of the heart when words have failed, and here I'm sorry means I acknowledge I hurt you, and I want to make it right. That moment supplies you with profound comfort. No longer must you wonder if they care about the pain you feel. In that admission, you witness their heart fully open. An apology becomes the firmest bridge toward reconciliation, transitioning from words of regret to actions of repair. You will see them proactively ask, how did I hurt you? You'll hear, I'll do better next time. For you, accepting their apology becomes a balm for trust wounds. You don't need to demand it or coerce it. They freely choose to respond to your needs. When they hesitate or stammer, it enriches the moment. Their vulnerability only emerges when they truly regard you as important enough to risk embarrassment. A warming glow spreads through your chest, not from fleeting sweet talk, but from the courage to own one's mistakes. Each apology woven with empathy and paired with corrective action creates a healing current for you both. You learn to forgive without judgment, and they learn to take responsibility without escape. From there, the relationship evolves into a new phase, not only acknowledging difficulties and honoring promises, but also admitting faults and making amends. This weaving of apologies, forgiveness, and reparative deeds is the clearest expression of, I love you, in an avoidance love language. When they can honestly say, I'm sorry, they prove they trust you enough to place you at the center of a once shuttered interior world. And with the disciplined practice of sincere apology, you and they will not only heal old wounds, but also build the foundation to journey further together in genuine connection. Building on the foundation of heartfelt apologies, your relationship with an avoidant partner enters a new phase when they confess, you make me feel better. This simple declaration carries a profound admission. You are not only a lover, but also an emotional anchor, a sounding board that relieves the loneliness hidden in their heart. This is especially meaningful for someone with an avoidant style. for they typically keep emotions bottled up and seldom share their inner world. When they say, "You make me feel better," they acknowledge the healing power that your listening and understanding bring. Imagine them after a long day weighed down by worries and cramped by anxious thoughts. The mere sight of you and the space you offer to speak freely lifts the burden, their breathing eases, and tension dissipates. They speak these words not just to reveal their mood, but to express gratitude. "Every time I talk with you, I don't feel so alone in this world." When they share their struggles, whether a workplace failure, a long-held fear, or a painful memory, you don't judge or rush to fix things. You simply hold space and let them unload. In response, they look at you with gentle eyes, no longer guarded, and voice the words, "You make me feel better." That better isn't just reduced anxiety, it's the feeling of being seen, being understood, no longer having to fight battles alone. Hearing them say this warms your heart with joy. You realize that you truly matter in their inner world. From that moment on, each gesture of yours, whether a thoughtful question, a word of comfort, or silent companionship, becomes an invisible gift of immense value. Your presence, even in quiet support, is like medicine, helping them heal from the days when they concealed their pain. And when they acknowledge this, you think, "I have become a refuge for a soul that once shielded itself." Notice how they transform, from someone withdrawn and hesitant to someone opening up, sharing more of their hidden depths, even taking the initiative to reveal moments of joy and sorrow. Every conversation stands as proof of this metaphor. "You make me feel better." It is not a fleeting phrase, but a signal that they are ready to trust you, to let down their guard and receive comfort. Happiness surges between you as you realize you have achieved what once seemed impossible. You have dismantled their isolation and built genuine connection. From here, your relationship moves into its next evolutionary step, where each time you stand by, listen, and share, you strengthen the foundation that will support them whenever the outside world becomes overwhelming. That is the magic of being a sounding board. You don't need to change them. You simply need to be there, and they will feel better. After hearing "You make me feel better," you've witnessed an avoidant partner learning to open their heart. Now, the final sign of connection emerges. "I care about you." For most people, "I love you" is the nucleus of affection, yet avoidants typically shy away from such visceral expressions. They require a safer term to bond, and "I care about you" serves as the heartfelt ticket, offering genuine warmth without triggering abandonment fears. When they say "I care about you," it means that amidst their hectic schedule and swirling thoughts, you occupy a priority slot. You are no longer a variable in their life, but a constant worthy of consideration. This might appear when they ask what you're eating to make sure you don't skip meals, text you to remember your coat before heading out, or suggest a quick call to ensure you're not alone in late-night worries. Each caring message transcends social convention. It marks an active declaration, "I'm watching out for you. You matter to me." Those words glow like sunlight through curtains, enough to dispel feelings of abandonment, enough to make you feel cherished in their mind. Receiving such tender concern quiets your heart with joy because you've found a safe harbor. From this moment, you realize that caring is no less powerful than loving. In fact, for an avoidant, it may signify a more enduring affection as they continue to care even when no one else is watching. When the relationship still faces its tests, days of their absence, moments of their silence, or inner turmoil, you retain this promise as an emotional anchor. "I care about you." It acts as a tether to prevent you both from drifting when life's currents grow strong. More importantly, "I care about you" extends beyond words. It unfolds into subsequent deeds. They proactively take small steps to ease your worries, like setting alarms to remind you to take medication, purchasing your favorite snacks when passing a store, or asking you to share something so they feel less isolated. This is the proof of an understated yet potent care. Except that, for an avoidant, "I care about you" carries multiple layers. It demands that you stay, acknowledges they cannot go on without you, and conveys an unspoken vow that you always have a place in their heart. Not every "I love you" comes directly. Sometimes it transforms into "I care about you," a simple phrase, but enough to warm a once frozen heart. And at this turning point, you and they step into the ripest phase of attachment. No longer mere confessions or promises, but a steadfast commitment expressed through daily acts of care. Although the 6 metaphorical expressions paint a vivid picture of how an avoidant reveals their affection, there are times when they summon the courage to speak the 3 direct words, "I love you," This moment often arrives after they've weathered enough relationship tests, after keeping promises, taking responsibility, and building enough safety to adopt the direct language of love. Occasionally, I love you emerges following months of you patiently listening and supporting them through periods of silence, hot-cold swings, and uncertainty. For instance, after weeks of fulfilling commitments, sincere apologies, and candid conversations, they may pause mid-discussion, look deeply into your eyes, and utter, "I love you." That expression feels wholly different, not a pleading or tactical declaration, but a definitive affirmation. Some avoidants never expected to say it out loud. The phrase only comes when you openly ask, when you gently express, "I'd like to hear you say that." Confronted with the request, they might hesitate and stammer, "I love you." Their halting words heighten the emotional intensity, and you experience an overwhelming joy in finally hearing the direct utterance of love. That is the rare instant when an avoidance defenses melt away and they use the very language they once deemed out of reach. In fact, for some, their lone "I love you" may occur only once, yet it etches itself indelibly into both hearts, lighting the path forward. When they finally speak "I love you" directly, your heart leaps with exhilaration and warms with the knowledge that those three words encapsulate a journey of nurturing, promise, keeping, accountability, and appreciation. If you're fortunate enough to hear those explicit words, don't merely bask in the emotion. Respond accordingly with sincerity, acknowledgement, and by embracing the moment. Simultaneously, you frame that moment as more than a phrase. It becomes the foundation for mutual honesty, ongoing care, or simply a warm embrace. Though just a brief utterance, an avoidance "I love you" bears the weight of their entire process. It teaches you that love's language extends beyond words to embody the proof of an entire journey. And at this crossroads, you move into the conclusion, synthesizing the 7 metaphorical signals in that final trio of words into a solid foundation for a lasting, fulfilling, and humane relationship. The journey of decoding an avoidant partner's love language is neither simple nor impossible. From understanding the childhood void left by the lack of "I love you" to the 7 metaphorical expressions they use, acknowledging their difficulties, keeping promises, allowing your critique, sacrificing for you, offering a genuine apology, becoming your emotional anchor, and finally saying "I love you." When they're ready, each step reveals how they love through their own experiences and barriers. The most beautiful element isn't the final "I love you," but the sequence of small moments. Their words of gratitude, fulfilled commitments, willingness to let you into their psyche, and realizing you make them feel less lonely. Love doesn't need grand declarations. It's built on consistent deeds and the courage to admit and share vulnerabilities. Carry these 7 signals as your compass. When you recognize one, you know they truly want to love and be loved. Don't rush them for "I love you." Instead, watch their actions, feel their care, and appreciate each stride forward. Finally, when those crucial 3 words do emerge, they'll be all the more meaningful and fulfilling than any empty promise. A relationship with an avoidant partner may challenge you, but it also offers both of you growth. When you learn to interpret their language and they respond by placing trust in you, love will blossom durably, bridging any divide. Thank you for staying with us until the end. If you found these insights helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and share to spread the message. Love is patience, is action, and is the bravery to speak your truth. Wishing you the fullness of loving and being loved.